Are you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest guests?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan here.
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Rigid Industries, DirtFish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio. With your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR IndyCar? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride. Emme Houde.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Emme Houde, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning, and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. And man, oh man, what a weekend it was. Not only do we have some motorsports going down, but you know me, myself, I am a big MMA fan and an even bigger Misha Tate fan. I've been with Misha Tate since day one as a fan. Her Strikeforce debut, finally breaking through, taking home the women's championship in an epic, epic battle with Holly Holm. So pumped for that. I know with my first guest we're going to be welcoming here in just a few minutes. I know at some point we'll get into some MMA talk, that being Mr. Matt Martelli, the man behind the Mint 400. He's an even bigger MMA fan than me. Also on tap today, we got my good friend Emme Hall. She is a auto reviewer for CNET's Auto Arm Roadshow. She's also racing the Gazelles Rally and also raced a 1600 car in the desert. Emme Hall, just an awesome, awesome person. Can't wait to catch up with her. It's been quite some time. And then we've got my new DirtFish Rally teammate, Conner Martell. He's going to be calling in hour number 2, talking about his Red Bull GRC Lites program. And not only that, we got Emme Houde locked and loaded in hour number 2 as well, talking some Supercross. Man, oh man, it is going to be one heck of a show. We're going to cut to a short commercial break. When we come back, Matt Martelli is on the line here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Kicking things off in a big way today. Got my good friend and the man, or one of the men behind the Mint 400 that's happening this week in Las Vegas, Matt Martelli with Mad Media. How's everything going, Matt?
Dude, everything's going awesome, Jim. I couldn't be more excited. Every year we do the Mint, and the event gets bigger and bigger, and it's a lot of hard work, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I got to tell you, you boys have been, I don't know if you've had any sleep in the past month. You had the UTV World Championship going down. Then you dropped a video of Tanner Faust that has put up some pretty solid numbers. And now we've got the Mint 400. I mean, you guys must just not like sleep, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, we could sleep when we're dead. But, we've had a busy schedule all the way back to X21K3. It seems like a blur since July, really. But that's the way we like it. I get bored if we're sitting around twiddling our thumbs with, all what we love doing, all the stuff we're passionate about. So, you know what they say, no rest for the wicked.
Well, we got to talk some Mint 400 because you guys got involved with this event a few years back, and since then, I mean, it literally has ramped up. It's been crazy. I mean, I know last year I had trouble getting into the event. I was able to sneak in with some cancellations. I mean, this race, I mean, it has become the event, if you're an off-road driver or if you're a fan that you got to get to, or if you're, a company in the industry. I mean, it's wild. And you look at the entry list, I mean, this is the who's who of desert racing. I mean, right here. I mean, and we've got some celebrities thrown in the mix. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's growing every year, and it's just such a rad race to be a part of. We feel like we're really lucky to be the shepherds of it now. The history is just magnificent. It's not just a part of off-road racing; it's a part of American culture. So every year we pour more and more into it, and this year's no exception. I mean, we've already sold the race out. We have about 350 teams and another 100 on the waiting list. We're almost sold through of every spectating area, so don't wait to get your parking passes. Prizes have just gone Richter. Like, we've spent the last couple of years working with Best of the Desert, organizing their contingency prizes, and just for this race alone, we're at $750,000 in prizes for racers and fans. So, it continues to grow and have more reach, and it's really exciting. We have again 4 hours of television coverage, 2 on NBC primetime and 2 on NBC Sports. So, and now we've introduced some new stuff, including new live tracking. So you'll be able to track the race from anywhere in the world on your phone or on your laptop via our new tracking system. So that's really exciting. So, yeah, we just, we want to continue to build it and make it bigger and better every year.
Well, in talking about the live tracking, I know I got a press release from you guys. I believe it was over the weekend. And, a lot of people are wondering, what's the big deal here? And we off-road's had tracking for years. Well, we all kind of know that it has and it hasn't. I mean, it has when it worked, but it hasn't when it doesn't work. And it seems like it doesn't work more often than it does. So that being said, I mean, tell us a little bit about this tracking service, because I know they do some global type events. I mean, this is rock solid, high-end tracking.
Yeah, I mean, look, we look at everybody constantly. I mean, this is a 24/7, thing for us. I mean, we're always thinking about how do we improve the race from many different aspects, and we've been looking at a lot of different tracking companies and trying to assess which one would be the best. And we found these guys, and they did the tracking for King of the Hammers, which was very successful. And so we talked about it and said, hey, King of the Hammers is probably the next coolest race from the Mint, and has a few less cars, and they don't go quite as fast as our boys, but it's a really cool event. And we figured if they could, do that, then they could handle the Mint, and they stepped up. So this will be the first year that they're going to be tracking with us, and we expect this to be a long-term relationship. So we're really excited about it. But really, it's just the ability to follow the race. It's really difficult to track these vehicles because we're going into areas that don't have cell coverage, and they go into blackout areas. So it's just a difficult thing to do technically. And if you remember, I mean, it wasn't maybe even 10 years ago, the only way we had to communicate was just shortwave radio. So technology continues to evolve and to give us, more advantages, and also allow spectators to watch and see what's going on and participate in the race coverage.
Yeah, and as a kid growing up, I mean, I remember my dad racing in Baja, or even, the Mint 400 back when I was a kid, and sometimes I'd have school and wouldn't be able to go to the races, and we knew when the race started, and we were lucky if we got a call from some gas station somewhere at the end of the race, Dad phoning in to say, hey, I just finished the race in third place, or whatever it was. But there was there was dead time during the race. You had no idea what was going on, because that was just how off-road was. I mean, I think it's been tremendous, the change and the access to information that we have now. And obviously you guys in racedesert.com and UTV Underground have done a tremendous job of elevating that.
Yeah, I mean, thanks. I mean, look, the thing for us is we want to share this. This is our passion, so we want to share it with the world. So however we can do that, we want to do that. So, whether it's social media or whether it's tracking, what have you, like, that's all we're about. But I will say that, like, I also love, the mystery of not knowing who's where and so on and so forth. Like a lot of the old Baja races, that was always a cool part of it, is you really never knew who won until the finish of the race. And that's still true of what we're doing. We just have a lot more data now, so we could do a little bit of math and figure out who's in the lead, and not just on physical, but on time. I mean, that's the thing people forget about this race is, although it's unlikely to come from the back and cut through all the traffic, it is possible.
Yeah, and we've seen that before in races where, guys are forgot about back there, start 30 minutes behind and sneak in and, and make up that time and, and don't physically finish in front, but end up walking away with a victory.
Yeah, there was a year that Larry Ragland won, and he started like 50th, and he just cut through everybody and outdrove everybody, and lo and behold, at the finish line, they looked at all the times, and they're like, hey, this guy who started in 50th just smoked everybody. So yeah. It is possible. It's just now the level of competition and the equipment that we're racing, it's just gnarly. It's just a much more difficult race to win.
Yeah, well, and and you hear, we've got qualifying and everything else now that's become an event in itself. But my dad was just telling me last week about one of the Mint 400s he raced, and he says, hey, we have like 450 entries, right? He's like, they put everybody into a random draw, and he's like, not by class, but by the entire field. He's like, I'm running Class 8, which was back in the day was Class 8, Class 1. Those were your two premier classes, And Dad says, he's like, we had 450 entries. Here I am in a Class 8. He's like, I drew 377th. He's like, I was the 377th car off the line. He's like, I had Class 9s, Class 11s. He's like, you want to talk about a dusty nightmare of a race trying to come from the back? He's like, I could see nothing. And he's like, that's the Mint. You never know what it's going to throw at you.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, that's that's the beauty of our style of racing, is that, you know, you're going to war against the elements, you're going to war against the field, you're going to war against yourself, your preparation. You know, it's just nuts. The variables are nuts. You know, I always compare it to MMA. You know, where if you watch the UFC this weekend, we had 2 upsets that nobody really expected, but that's what makes it exciting, is it's not predictable.
Yeah, well, that being said, I got to say, I mean, I've been a Misha Tate fan since day one in Strikeforce when she made her debut, and, you know, she's scrappy, and it's just like you make that desert racing analogy. You know, she's a scrappy one, and, you know, everybody has their day, you know, and it looked like Holm had her down, and, you know, she scrapped by and, you know, last minute made it happen. We see that often in desert racing, you know, the guy that's people forget about and make things happen in the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great analogy. I mean, she was on every count, she was losing that fight until she choked out Holm, and that's exactly what desert racing's like. It's like, you know, the guy, like that guy who just won San Felipe, never heard of him, don't know who he is, but everybody else overdrove, broke, had equipment problems, and this guy skates in and he ends up winning. So that's, again, the beauty of off-road racing.
All right, we got to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll be back with Matt Martelli talking some more Mint 400. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? DirtFish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, DirtFish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, DirtFish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, DirtFish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit DirtFish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from DirtFish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DirtFish Rally.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Hanging out here, and we got my good friend on the line, the man behind the Mint 400, Matt Martelli. And Matt, man, we've talked about some of the changes to the race. I got to say, not a change this year, but a couple years back, Red Bull Signature Series got involved. Obviously, we saw Travis Pastrana run that year, and obviously Bryce has been a fixture in this, as well as, some of the other guys. I know Sal Masakalo's run it a few times, but I was just in some meetings in Vegas last week with Red Bull Las Vegas. They were amped. Red Bull Signature Series back on the grid again for this year.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's actually, we've yet to even announce it publicly, but we're back in the Red Bull Signature Series. We have a 2-hour slot on NBC actually the night before Christmas on December 24th. So NBC talked to us and they basically explained to us that that's one of the biggest time slots in the winter. So that's when we're doing it. So the NBC Sports Show will play before that, I believe in June. And then the Signature Series will be in December. So we're really stoked on that. That brings us into, 140 million homes with NBC and then another 80 million in NBC Sports. So, by far the biggest coverage in off-road. So we're really excited about it.
It's been tremendous. I mean, no matter where I go, in the country and hosting different types of motorsport and things like that. I mean, the Mint 400, they all know I race a trophy truck, and the first thing that pops in their mind now, it used to be, hey, that's kind of the Baja 1000, right? You guys race down in Baja, or hey, that's like what Ivan Stewart does, right? Now it's, oh yeah, that's like the Mint 400. And I think the Mint 400 has become that term to describe off-road, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, look, ultimately that's our goal. I mean, we lived through it with action sports with X Games, and that's what we're out to build. Is we want to give the whole world a reference to desert off-road racing and show them how awesome it is. So, that's our goal with the Mint. That's what we're out to achieve, and it's been going the right direction. We're excited about it, but man, we're just scratching the surface. I look at what the UFC has achieved within only 15 years, and you realize that MMA is only a few $1 billion big, and off-road's impact globally is hundreds of billions of dollars. It's 33 billion alone, I think, with cheap. So we are already have a bigger reach and a bigger impact. We just have to connect the dots.
Well, and you talk about that. I mean, anybody that's been to SEMA, it's crazy. I mean, it to me, used to be, I went to SEMA 10, 15 years ago, and off-road, there was, kind of shoved in a corner. And now you go and off-road, front and center, out front, but every single hall, even, the hot rod and the performance halls, even the auto manufacturers, everything, it seems like it's become this mammoth off-road show with a lot of other stuff thrown in. It's crazy how off-road has just taken over the auto industry.
Yeah, this year at SEMA especially, it was interesting to see the evolution of off-road and taking into different markets. And that, in fact, brings me to one of our new partners, which is Lifted and Leveled. They're a truck magazine launched by Dub Publishing. So even the shot callers at Dub, realize that, there's something to this off-road market. And, Americans drive trucks. We have cars too, but we're a truck nation. And, we race trucks, and trucks are meant to be raced off-road. Pavement trucks, that just seems wrong to me, So I think these are all things going in our favor for the growth of off-road and the growth of our culture and sport. So, we're really excited to be, at the forefront of it, trying to lead people into the future with the Mint and everything else that we're doing. So it's awesome. This year, too, at the Mint, we started a new program with Rigid called the Rigid Roundup, which is essentially a truck show, street trucks. So anybody can enter in it, and we already have, I think, 60 vehicles entered. So it's going to be really cool, and we plan on growing that into hundreds, if not thousands, of vehicles, because we want to connect what we're doing in off-road racing back to the vehicles that people drive on the streets. That's ultimately, one of our goals, is to show that, billions of dollars, not millions, but billions of dollars in tires and aftermarket products are being sold because of what we're doing.
Yeah, and it's funny because, off-road culture, and let's say southwestern U.S. off-road culture, how it's expanded, nationally and internationally. I mean, I travel all over the country much as you do, and used to be, when I was a kid in high school, I had, a Ranger with the fiberglass fenders and stuff like that, and, in Arizona, Nevada, SoCal, people knew what it was, it was pre-runner, right? But if you were to have that truck in, say, Michigan, everybody look at you like, oh, what the heck is that? Now you travel to Michigan. I was up there for Snowdrift Rally, and there's trucks all over the place with pre-runner bumpers and fiberglass fenders. And, I mean, our culture is spread from the Southwest now. Even internationally, I see stuff posted up from Dubai and places like that. These guys have the same trucks that, that look the same way that, we do here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, I keep telling people about the trip that we had 2 years ago to Dubai, and those guys were more excited about their pre-runner than they were their Ferraris or their Lamborghinis, and that was really refreshing. But it also, made me realize how valuable our culture is. I mean, what we're doing is cool, and the whole world recognizes that, so we just have to remember that and connect the dots.
Yeah. For sure. Well, that being said, anybody that wants to come out to Vegas, obviously I know tickets, parking passes are getting few and far between. But that being said, there's still festivities like crazy. I mean, starting off Wednesday, give us the lowdown of how the week flows for the Mint 400.
Well, the week's packed full of fun stuff and, racing and parties, and that's what the Mint's about. So, our week starts with Wednesday with a vehicle parade. We start staging around noon, and that parade should start around 1 o'clock and take a couple hours to go down Las Vegas Boulevard and end right in front of Atomic down in Fremont. And we go right from there to having some drinks and partying at Atomic, which is our party headquarters. The actual Mint 400 beer that was custom made for us by Oscar Blues, and the Mint 400 whiskey that was made for us by Sin City Whiskey will also be available there to buy as drinks and to take home as souvenirs. Because that's one of the cool things about Vegas is the liquor laws are a little bit looser than every place else, so you're allowed to do stuff like that. And then Thursday is qualifying, and after qualifying we have the Rugged Radios meet and greet, and then the Pit Crew Challenge, Miss Mint, the Rigid Industries Truck Roundup. So it's just, that whole day and that evening is packed. And then once that's over, probably about 10 o'clock, we walk across the street and have some drinks at Atomic. That's Thursday. And then Friday is contingency all day. We have a party Friday night as well, and then race day Saturday and party Saturday night. So there's no lack of partying. So you be ready to have a good time.
Definitely something for everyone out at the Mint 400. I mean, I'm excited to get out there, man. It's every year. I know even my dad. He's been to probably well into the few hundred off-road races in his life and in his career, and every year the one he wants to go back to is the Mint 400. Not only does he get to see some great racing, but he gets to rub elbows with guys like Ivan Stewart and Walker Evans, and guys that don't come out to a lot of races, but they want to come out to the Mint.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, this is the one race that everybody's got to do, whether you're a spectator, a casual fan, a racer. It really doesn't matter, but this is this is our, for lack of a better term, Daytona 500. And it's the biggest field in the entire year. I mean, you win this thing, and you could tell everybody that you've beaten the best field, in the toughest race course in the world.
Yeah, over 50 trick trucks. I mean, UTVs, I haven't looked at the numbers, but insane amounts of UTVs. I mean, it's and that's just two classes. I mean, every single class, stacked fields.
Let's talk about the UTVs for a second, because that class has just exploded, and I think we're at 68 was the last count, so it's a new record for desert racing. We of course had over 200 at the UTV World Championship, but that's combined between short course and desert. But yeah, I mean, look, UTVs are such an accessible way to come and learn how to off-road race and just get into it in a manageable way. It's opening up a whole new area that we've never had before. So we're really excited about it. We've put a lot of effort behind, supporting UTVs, and obviously Polaris RZR is a huge sponsor of ours. They do a ton with us, and in fact, this year they stepped up. They're giving away 2 brand new Polaris XP RZR turbos to the winners of the overall. So the driver and the co-driver get a new RZR. I mean, that's $60,000 worth of value right there. Yeah. When was the last time you saw that happen?
Yeah, exactly. That right there is a reason enough to enter, and I know Polaris behind the scenes. I mean, obviously they're heavily involved in this show. You worked on a ton of projects. I mean, they are definitely helping drive this industry at this point, and we're lucky to have, partners like them that want to give back to the off-road community and help grow things.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, it's people. What people need to understand is that, when we get a company, whether it's Polaris or somebody else, and they're willing to spend millions of dollars in off-road and supporting the culture, that's a blessing. I mean, we should take that as a blessing and really utilize it. And it's not just UTVs. The money that they're putting into this sport is helping everybody. It's helping the culture. We've got them to do things like, donate to the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame, donate to keeping lands open in Glamis, like everything off-road related to, they pretty much say yes to every time we go to them and say, ask them for help or ask them for a contribution. So they've been a fantastic partner. So, if you ask me, what can you do to support off-road racing? Go buy a Polaris RZR. Tell them that you're doing it because you love the Mint 400 and you love off-road racing. Go buy BF Goodrich tires because they're also a new sponsor and a huge supporter of off-road racing, and they have been for 50 years. So, support the brands that support off-road.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a good note to leave this on, but I appreciate you taking the time, Matt, to call in, and we will definitely chat soon.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for the time, and, bring your friends and family all out to the Mint 400 this Saturday. It's going to be fantastic. You can find out more at themint400.com, and I hope to see everybody there.
All right. Thanks a lot, Matt. Great catching up with Matt Martelli, and we'll be back with Emme Hall after this break on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The hotel is waiting. And your getaway is as close as Blue Water Resort and Casino's spring room special, starting at just $54.95. You'll be steps away from hot slot machines, table games, bingo, restaurants, lounges, the Blue Water Marina, golf, and more. Lee Greenwood hits the stage in the amphitheater Saturday, February 27th. Book your room today at BlueWaterFun.com or call 888-243-3360. Rooms starting at just $54.95. Now at Blue Water Resort and Casino in Parker, Arizona. Available Sunday through Thursday, February 1st through April 30th. Based on availability. Tax and resort fees are not included. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Excludes holidays, weekends, and special events.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound at the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Lites has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Lites offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Lites. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Lites. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome one of my good friends to the line. Somebody haven't had on air in a while, but I think we look back over the show's history, and she's probably made more appearances than anybody on the show. But I'd like to welcome Emme Hall to the show. Got a new gig working with CNET as well, reviewing some cars. How's everything going, Emme?
Well, hey, Jimmy B. I'm pretty awesome. So I got a new gig working with Roadshow, and we're the automotive arm of CNET. And I have to tell you, dude, it's awesome. We just got back from the Geneva Motor Show, which I had never been to before, and, it was bonkers. It was like a horsepower war there. There were so many crazy supercars. We saw the new Bugatti. It's the new Bugatti Chiron. It's 1,500 horsepower. There's 10 radiators in the thing, 4 turbo, top speed of over 250 miles an hour. It's nuts. It's nuts.
10 radiators? I mean, 9's the norm, right? But you go to 10, and that's just overkill,
yeah.
right?
That just brings it right over the top. That's just one too many. Yeah, it was, and so many cars that we just never get to see here in the States. I was hanging out at the Audi stand. There's all these great wagons. We never get to see that stuff. All these great diesels that give you so much of that torque that really slams you back into your seat, that especially now with Dieselgate and Volkswagen, people are very, very wary of diesels now in the States, even more so than they were. And, there's still a great way to get more power and better gas mileage, but we're not going to get them here. So it was cool to be able to see some of these things that are just for the European market only.
Yeah, well, and it's funny you say that, because I think cars in general, there's global cars and then there's North American cars. You know what I mean? And it's
totally different.
What we have in the United States and even Mexico and Canada are completely different than anywhere else in the world. And it's crazy that auto manufacturers, they build a car that's good in every country in the world except for United States, Canada, and Mexico.
Yeah. Toyota's coming out with this new subcompact crossover, which is going to compete with the Mazda CX-3, the Jeep Renegade, and it really looks like it's built to compete with the Nissan Juke because it's kind of funky looking. It's called the CHR, and it's got a lot of cool style lines. It's got a nice footprint. It's a small, compact footprint, but there's a lot of cool kind of racer rally inspired exterior details on it, right?
Yeah.
So, but what they're going to get in Europe is a turbocharged engine with a 6-speed manual. And we're going to get a 2-liter naturally aspirated with a freaking CVT. And it's dude, you design this awesome-looking car that would be fun for somebody to drive, and then you stick a stupid CVT in it, which is terrible. So, and for your listeners that don't know, I know you guys are super into off-road stuff, but you might not have heard of a CVT because, we all like to drive, so we avoid them. But it's called a continuously variable transmission, and essentially it's, instead of having an automatic where there's steps of gears, it's basically one big, long, variable gear, like a rubber band. So it feels like it's stretching and coming back and stretching and coming back. So you give it the beans, and the whole transmission just goes, and then it goes back to where it should be. And you think, holy crap, I just lost my transmission back there.
Yeah.
And they're great on gas mileage, but they kind of take the driving pleasure out of it.
Yeah.
So, but you'll find that we're getting, because of CAFE standards and government wanting us to up our EPA fuel ratings, more and more manufacturers are putting CVTs into their cars. So you find that a lot instead of 6-speed manuals.
That being said, what got you excited about the stuff that's coming here? I know, Geneva, there's a lot of stuff you said that, we may not see here. I know auto show season here in the States has been in full swing. Us fans of, hot rods and horsepower and, drifting and rally cars and off-road, what have you seen in the past couple of shows that has you pumped for something coming here to our stores?
Okay, well, there's a rumor that something big is going to happen at Easter Jeep Safari with the Jeep Wrangler. I don't know what it is. I will say that I saw a press photo on a Jeep Wrangler where it would say Rubicon. Instead, it said Trailcat. Chrysler FCA puts out an engine called the Hellcat that makes 707 horsepower. Whether or not that's going to go into a Wrangler, I don't know, but there is something that's big that's going to happen with the Wrangler. It could be, maybe it's a diesel, maybe they're putting in a souped-up engine in it. I don't know, but watch Easter Jeep Safari in a couple weeks because it's going to be amazing.
I mean, Jeep, maybe they know something about Ford that we don't know as well, because I've heard all these rumors about these, the Bronco coming back, and they've been swirling for 15 years. So, I mean, that's nothing new. But the past 3-4 months, they've hit fever pitch. I mean, it's to the point where, I mean, they're not just the old rumors, it'd be cool if Ford did this. I mean, these are legit good source rumors. So, I don't know, maybe Jeep knows something. They're raising their game before Ford steps in.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine if a Bronco came out? I remember my grandpa drove a Bronco, and I remember driving it in the mountains of Colorado and coming down a mountain path and not understanding that physics means that you have to brake, and just taking a turn way too fast and scaring my dad and thought we were going to roll that thing over. Like, I have such fond memories of a Bronco.
Yeah, Broncos are. I think everybody's owned a Bronco, off-road people at some point in time. I know I have.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just great vehicles. That being said, talking some off-road, we got to switch gears here a minute because Gazelle's Rally coming up. We're really getting close to this. I know you're going back. Yeah. You got to be excited. It's been a couple of years. You were one of the first U.S. women. I don't want to say the first, but you were one of the first women to really go over there. And it seems like now we've seen kind of the floodgates open, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's so great to see more American women go over there. I mean, for your listeners who don't know, the Gazelle Rally is a 9-day all-female rally in Morocco, and there's no GPS. So all your navigation is done with a compass and a map. And it's not a rally for speed like the Dakar is. It's more a rally for distance. So you want to travel the shortest distance between checkpoints. So it's all about traveling in as straight a line as possible. And maybe there's a mountain or some dunes or a farm or something in between you and your checkpoint. So you have to figure, are you going to go through it? Are you going to go around it? Once you go around it, how are you going to get back on your heading? And you're doing all of this with paper and pencil and rulers, right? So it's really, really hard. And I wasn't able to go last year because I had some work commitments that I had to honor. So I'm so excited to go back in 2016. And we've rented a Land Rover Defender 110. So we totally stoked on that.
Nice.
It's going to be so unstoppable.
Yeah, you're stepping it up a bit. I mean, from not to say the car you ran last time was any slouch, but definitely raising the bar there a bit, Emmy.
Yeah, I mean, we were in the Isuzu D-Max, which is the same platform as the Colorado, and it's a great truck, right? It's lightweight, it's great in the dunes, but I mean, it was a stock D-Max. So this is like, it's made to conquer this terrain. Like, that's what the British made this truck for. And I get to drive one, so I'm really, really stoked on that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
How many times have you done this now? Is this your second or third? I can't remember. I know you've done it a few times now.
Yeah, this will be my third, and it will be my navigator's fourth. My navigator, her name is Sabrina Howells, and she was able to go last year with another competitor. So it was great because she was able to get another year worth of navigation experience before we made it up to go back again this year. So, we're totally in it to win it. And there's some fierce competitions, especially among the American teams. The Hohen sisters have done it. This will be their fourth, I believe. And they're also in a Land Rover, but they're in like a LR4, I think. And of course, Nicole Patel-Vaughn and Chrissy Beavis are going to be going, we call it the Morocco Taco. It's Nicole's Total Chaos Tacoma. Mm-hmm. And Nicole's a great driver. Chrissy, I know, is going to be on your show soon. She's an incredible navigator. So we kind of, I love those girls to death, but I've got them in my sights, Yeah. They're mine. They're totally mine.
Chrissy's pretty awesome, too. I mean, I don't want to say the total package, but, a lot of people, because she's Travis Pastrana's co-driver and she's ridden with some of the best in the business. And obviously, she did, really well with Alyssa from ESPN last year. But people don't realize she's just as good behind the wheel as she is sitting in the co-driver's seat. So,
she's amazing.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome. That being said, I mean, I'm just pumped for this. I mean, going back, I mean, like you said, it's game on this time. you guys are definitely going for the victory. I know, co-driver, I think that's great. Got a year when you were sitting out to go over there because, it seems like this rally in particular, the co-driver is just as important, if not more important, as the driver.
Oh, the co-driver, I'm the chauffeur. Are you kidding me? Like, my job, it's easy. It's easy. Compared to what she has to do with the amount of concentration that she has to put onto finding her points and keeping her eye on the point that we're going to. She's getting out and taking a heading and then finding whatever it is that she's taking her heading off of. Maybe it's a bush that's 100 yards away. Then she has to get back in the truck, never taking her eyes off that bush, getting in the truck and keeping her eyes on it, no matter what the truck is doing. So I'm like looking 10 yards ahead, trying to navigate the terrain and get the truck over the terrain, but she's looking farther ahead, trying to keep me as straight as possible to get to that one kind of mini checkpoint, right? She doesn't even know where I'm going. Like, I could be going over rocks. She can't look at it because then she's going to lose her heading. So, and she's got to keep the math in her head. She's got to keep awake. She's all of these things, and it's very, very difficult for the navigator. I just tell me where to go. You want me to go there? Okay, I'll go there.
Yeah.
So for me, it's easy.
Yeah. Well, and how would obviously you've got a ton of seat time in in desert racing in a 1600 car. I mean, how does that how does that style of driving transition to something like gazelles in Morocco? I mean, is there a lot you can draw from desert racing? I know you guys are spending a ton of time in the dunes and things like that. I mean,
yeah.
How is the crossover there with driving skills?
Well, with 1600, it's all about momentum, right? Because you're racing 90 horsepower, so as soon as you lift, you're gone. And it's the same thing in the dunes. It's all about picking your line and committing and not lifting. And I'm not going to lie, it's scary. And you're making decisions so fast when you're in the dunes, but you just have to have confidence in what you're doing and have confidence in your line choices and keep your foot in it until you get to a place where it's safe and safe to stop so that you're not going to get stuck. And it's the same thing in 1600. Once you lift, it's done. So you have to have confidence in your line choices. Sometimes you keep your foot in it and you turn into something wrong, and then it's like, all right, how am I going to get out of this? Because I have to throttle out. When in doubt, throttle out, and that's all it is in dunes, especially in the Land Rover, in the Defender, because it's going to be real heavy, and it's the 110, so it's the longer wheelbase. So I have to definitely keep my momentum coming up and over those dunes. We practiced with the Jeep Wrangler Willys, which is the two-door, so it's a shorter wheelbase, so it's easy, right? You just pop up over, think, and you're done. But having that longer wheelbase, we may be using our max tracks more than we want to at the top of those dunes. But, thank God we have those max tracks because I have to tell you, yes, they have, they've given me a couple for this rally, but even if they didn't, I would buy them and I'll never go anywhere without my max tracks, especially the Sahara. They're just the best recovery devices that I've ever used, and they make it so easy. So easy. You just stick them underneath the tires, give it a little bit of gas, roll on the throttle, and it just pops you right out, and it saves you so much time and so much energy.
Yeah, and those things I've even saw in desert racing, becoming more and more the norm. Well, yeah, for sure. Well, before we let you go, Emme, give us the details. How can people tune in to the Gazelles? I know there's a ton of websites going to be covering it, some specific to the series. Give us a lowdown.
Yeah, so you can keep up with the daily updates, and you can even email us, which is awesome. There's nothing like coming back to the bivouac and getting encouraging email back from back home. And that's just at gazellerally.com. And you can just kind of go in there, surf around, and find out more about the teams. There's 9 American teams that are going this year. Sabrina and I are Team 178, and we'll be driving the Land Rover Defender that will be the Rescue Me truck. So our title sponsor is Rescue Me, which makes a cool little safety device that will cut your seatbelt or break your window in case you get into an accident and you can't get out of your car. So it's super handy to have. I carry mine around all the time since I've learned about them. And our truck is covered with butterflies that will have the names of breast cancer survivors or previvors, fighters, and angels. And we'll take that throughout the Sahara with us. So that's kind of a cool way to honor women that not as lucky as we have been. So gazellerally.com, you can check that out and follow the rally there. And then as far as all of my car videos, our website is theroadshow.com. We've got just also car videos, but as well we have features where we mash up 2 cars. Yeah, we've got a lot of great content on the site, plus all our Geneva stuff is there as well. So that's at theroadshow.com.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Emmy. Good luck at Gazelles, and we'll definitely have to catch up with you after the rally.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Jimmy B. It's always fun.
Always fun catching up with Emme Hall. Good friend of mine, awesome person. We're going to take a short break. We come back. We've got a DirtFish Rally Report. We're going to talk some viral videos and more on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at MTX.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for. No fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island. The best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. And, man, we've had a couple of great guests on the line so far. Emme Hall, Matt Martelli, coming up in hour number 2. We got Conner Martell, my new DirtFish Rally teammate. Amy Hoode's going to be calling in. We got a lot to chat about there. But don't forget, we are going to be live at the Mint 400 this weekend, airing live on Friday. So if you're a fan of the show, fan of off-road racing, you definitely want to be locked, loaded Friday. We'll be live from Contingency with Polaris RZR. Speaking of Polaris, I don't want to say over the weekend, but last week, dropping a new viral video with Tanner Faust, Polaris slingshot video. And I got to tell you, this was one epic watch. If you haven't tuned in yet, Tanner let loose in the streets of San Diego in a highly modified Polaris slingshot. That's the 3-wheeled just street shredder. If you haven't seen one, man, our boys at Mad Media UTV Underground did a great job with Tanner and filming that, and just definitely a great watch if you're a fan of viral videos. Man, last week and this week, when it rains, it pours. You had Ken Block, Gymkhana 8. You had the Polaris Slingshot X, as they're calling it, with Tanner Faust. And then this week, man, out of nowhere, Levi LaValle, he teased it on air a couple of weeks ago, and been teasing it on social media, and out of nowhere, boom, he drops what I think the best viral video I've seen in a couple of years. Levi just on point and dialed in. with his new drop with Red Bull and going wild in the streets of St. Paul, Minnesota on a snowmobile, and some insane stunts there. I know we're going to jump into that even more with Emme Houde, as that just dropped this morning. So literally, go check it out, watch it. I don't want to say watch it during this commercial break, but watch it during this commercial break because we're going to be chatting about it later on in the show today. But you definitely want to watch that video with Levi LaValle. Just absolutely insane. One of my favorite viral videos I have seen in quite some time. So we're going to be back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, in just a minute.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. And, man, we are going to get into some DirtFish Rally Report in this next segment. Coming up here in just a few minutes, my good friend Conner Martell, my new DirtFish Rally teammate. He's going to be calling into the show, talking his new GRC Lites program. But DirtFish Rally Report right now brought to you by our good friends at DirtFish Rally School. Find out more information on the web, www.dirtfish.com. And, man, if you are a co-driver, DirtFish, obviously they can get everybody dialed in behind the wheel if you want to drive. But once in a while, sometimes co-drivers are a little left out of things. But DirtFish got you covered. Coming up, we got the Oregon Trail Rally after this after the 100-acre wood rally coming up here in a week and a half. But Oregon Trail Rally moving to the West Coast. Craig Drew, co-driver for David Higgins, is going to be out at DirtFish Rally School putting on a co-drivers clinic 2 days on a Saturday and Sunday. You can go either day or both days, different instruction on both days. So you can definitely make it a 2-day thing. But he's going to be out there and getting co-drivers dialed in. It's actually really affordable. But anyways, if you co-driver want to up your skills, and I would say any of you off-road co-drivers listening in, it would be worth the flight up there to DirtFish to spend some time with Craig Drew. He'll get you dialed in, and definitely go to DirtFish's website, dirtfish.com, and they can definitely get you dialed in and handled there. But speaking of news in the rally world, Rally America entry list for the 100-acre wood rally, man, it is teetering and tottering right there on max entries. Event is capped at 70 entries. We were at 70, dropped down to like 66. Now we're up to 68. It's bouncing around, but I'm telling you, week and a half out, we are going to hit that cap. We'll also be live from the event with the Down and Dirty Radio Show. But if you're interested in running, you definitely need to get your entry in now because there's literally only 1 or 2 left. I saw my boy Nick Roberts. He's coming back to the United States, done with Canada for the meantime. He's going to be running his car there. So stacked entry list. Definitely get your entry in. Also, GRC announcing they are going to Atlantic City in 2016. That to-be-determined date has been announced, and it is Atlantic City. Also, we had WRC in action over the weekend in Mexico. Jari Latvala taking home the overall victory, besting Sebastian Ogier. Sebastian sounds like he had some troubles being the first out of the gate with some loose conditions, and Latvala capitalizing on that, running a smart race, taking the victory. Ogier in second, Sordo third, Osberg and Patton, and then Tonic, your top 6. So that was your DirtFish Rally Report for this week. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be back with Conner Martell on the line.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'd like to welcome my new DirtFish Rally School teammate to the line, Conner Martell, going to be driving a GRC Lites car in 2016 under the DirtFish Motorsports banner. How's everything going, Conner?
It's good, Jim. Thanks for having me on your show.
No, stoked to have you. I mean, even more stoked about this announcement. You got to be pretty excited to be able to run a full program of GRC Lites this year.
Yeah, I'm super excited to get the year started. We've been working super hard. DirtFish has been great to me. The car's been great. I think it's going to be a really good year for us.
Yeah. Well, kind of give us a little background on you. Obviously, we'll get into the rallycross stuff, and I know you ran a few events last year, but kind of give us a background on you, because I know the name. A few of the listeners who watched GRC last year will recognize the name, but kind of give us your background. I know you spent a lot of time on two wheels, right? Running motocross, and did you actually go to Loretta's possibly?
So yeah, I got on a motocross bike when I was super young, and I instantly fell in love with it. So we had been talking to Colleen Millsaps, which is the owner of Millsaps Training Facility down in Cairo, Georgia, and they invited me to train full-time there. So I trained there for 4 years, full-time, every day. And every year I tried to go to Loretta's, and something would happen. I'd either break something or bikes or whatever. But finally I won a national in Freestone. So, yeah, pretty much two wheels have been my life growing up.
Yeah. Well, and then how did the transition to 4 come across? Because I got to say, breaking through to be a professional motocross or supercross rider is probably the hardest thing on earth. Second to that would probably be breaking into something on 4 wheels. I mean, how did you break through? I know last year in 2015 you were able to do, I think, three lights races, took a top 5 finish. I mean, kind of how did the transition go from 2 to 4, and how did those doors open?
So, yeah, well, my stepdad is in the racing world, I guess you could say, and him and Steve Rimmer, they know each other, and Steve came and watched me in L.A., and he was pretty impressed, so he asked me to come down to DirtFish, and we talked it out, and I drove, and he asked me if I wanted to drive for him this year, and of course I said yes. So I'm super excited about that. I'm super grateful of all the chances I've been getting. But the transition is crazy. It's awesome. I love it. It's a new challenge, but there's a lot of similarities with motocross and rallycross because, motocross it's 42 guys going into one turn. So in rallycross it's pretty much the same thing, but there's only 10 cars. So there's quite a few similarities, like line choices and stuff like that, outside to inside, and so that's helped me in the cars for sure.
Yeah, well, and I think the starts, I mean, looking at those, and I know how wild the GRC starts get, but yeah, I think there would be a lot of similarities in the start of a motocross race, compared to a GRC race. I mean, almost one and the same, other than being lined up side by side, you're 2 at a time or 3. But, yeah, a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
So, yeah, how did things mature last year? I mean, I know you did three races. Were you with, I'm going to have to remember, Reese Millen, correct? You ran a car there. How did that come about?
Again, I think Reese Millen was looking for a driver to run one of the races because his normal driver couldn't make it, and he was asking around, and he gave my stepdad a price that he just couldn't deny. So my stepdad came up to me and was like, "Hey, you're racing a Red Bull GRC race in a couple of weeks," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Yeah. And I haven't even driven. I didn't even drive the car. I did I think 5 test laps before my first race.
Wow. What other experience did you have in 4 wheels? Before you jumped in a lights car? Obviously, a ton of motocross experience. I mean, how much experience before you jumped in the lights car? Was that like your first taste of actual 4-wheel racing?
Yeah, that was. I took a school at Tim O'Neill's. I took a week school. But, like, race car-wise and going out on pavement, that was my first time.
Wow, that's pretty solid. Did it run 3 races last year and take a top 5? So I had to tell you, the lights field last year was stacked. So to be able to take a top 5, I mean, there's a lot of drivers who ran for years in lights and never been in the top 5. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, I was really excited with how I did, and I've just been putting in the hard work to get faster and faster. And, this year isn't going to be easy. There's still a bunch of top guys in it, but it's going to be good. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. So outlook on 2016. I know you said you've been up there at DirtFish. Obviously, we're still I don't know, about 2 months, a little over 2 months out from the season kickoff in Phoenix. But kind of take us through the next couple months for you. Obviously, it's getting comfortable in the car. I know you said you're going to be doing a lot of training and testing up there at DirtFish.
Yeah, we've been talking about everything that we're going to do this year. I've been working with some of the people inside of DirtFish and picking out who I want to be my coach and my spotter and stuff like that. So we're trying to keep it all within DirtFish. And the next couple of months is just going to be hard work in the gym and planning out race strategies and trying to get the car as perfect as we can before that first race.
Yeah, well, and the good thing is the team, now with a year under its belt, they've got a lot of ideas on setup and things like that, so, I think some of the development curve for you is going to be cut down just because the team's going to have a lot of baselines to start with.
Yeah, they've been really good. They know the car really well. Last year was the first year, and they did great last year, and so we're looking forward to carry on with it this year.
Awesome. So I know you've been up there. You're saying you did 3 days of advanced training up there. What's been your favorite part of shredding some cars up at DirtFish so far?
I mean, everybody here is awesome. They're all super funny and super nice, and being able to come out here and just thrash around some Subarus is awesome. You just go sideways everywhere you possibly can, and it's awesome. I love getting instructed and learning how to go faster. So It's been great.
Yeah, I call DirtFish my home away from home, and I love going up there because it's an escape for me. I mean, you go up there and it's literally you're just into rally world and nothing else exists. And I think for a guy like you, that it's going to be your first full season in lights. It's going to be a huge asset to be able to do that. And you go up there and just immediately flip on race mode and be able to train. Not a lot of guys have access to that.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm so lucky that I got to be on this team this year because no one else has their personal test track.
Yeah.
I can come out here and drive every day if I could.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate you taking the time on air today, Conner. Give us a shout out. Obviously, you're fresh to the GRC game. What's your social media handle so some of the fans can go and give you a follow?
Yeah, so my Instagram, Twitter, everything. It's Conner Martell 21.
Awesome. Well, we'll definitely looking to keep tabs on you this year. I know we'll have you back on, off and on throughout the season to see how this year progresses for you and the DirtFish team. And best of luck. And we will definitely see you in Phoenix. I know I'll be out there.
Awesome. Sounds good, Jim. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Conner. Awesome.
Bye.
Catching up with just a young driver that teaming up with DirtFish, and definitely good things to come from him. And in 2016, for sure, top 5 in one of his first 3 races in GRC Lites. Man, that's some talent right there. Not a lot of people can say that. We're going to be back on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. With partner in crime, Emme Houde is on the line. Up next, we're talking some two-wheel stuff and some more Levi LaValle viral films. All that and more still to come. So don't go anywhere.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? DirtFish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, DirtFish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, DirtFish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, DirtFish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit DirtFish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from DirtFish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DirtFish Rally. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver in the house here, and man, it's been one heck of a show so far. That's definitely for sure. Matt Martelli talking Mint 400. We had Emme Hall on the line, Conner Martell, and I'd like to welcome my next guest, my partner in crime, Miss Amy Houde.
Hey, what's up?
What is happening, Amy?
Oh, not too much. Just about to get ready to pack my bag. Off to Vegas.
I know, man. Mint 400 coming up. We'll definitely talk that in a few minutes, but I want to, before we even talk about that or get into Supercross or anything, I got to say, our boy Levi LaValle, I love Levi, dear friend of mine. He out of nowhere, I mean, we saw a few teasers. He was on air like 2 weeks ago and said, hey, I got something big dropping with Red Bull. Stay tuned. You know, no advertising, no marketing, no hype, no this, no that. You know, that's Levi. He just, you know, he's totally just one of the nicest guys, and you know, and not, you know, flamboyant or anything. I mean, he lets his writing speak for itself, right? So he's got this, I say, mind-blowing viral film. I mean, I've seen Jim Connor and you know, and Recoils and RJ Anderson's XP1Ks, and Tanner Fausch just dropped the slingshot video, and got all these viral videos. And here's Levi out of nowhere, just drops this thing this morning, says, hey, look, I got this video out. Blew my mind. He took over the streets of St. Paul, Minnesota, and threw down. I mean, some of these guys spin donuts and this and that. I mean, Levi literally risked his life in this video.
Honestly, it's like the parkour of snowmobiles. I don't know if you guys know what parkour is, but it's like when these guys like do all these crazy stunts and flips and like gymnastic kind of stuff around cities. Or it was like a BMX video, how they go and just do like crazy off-road stunts and stuff around like downtown or whatever. I just couldn't believe it was on a snowmobile. It was insane. It was crazy. But you know, the thing about Levi is like he always does crazy, insane stuff. Like you never underestimate him, because it's like, what's he gonna do next? He's always the guy who thinks outside of the box and just comes up and does crazy, you know, stuff.
Yeah, I gotta watch those S words. We're in national syndication now, Hood. We can't get away with the shenanigans we used to, right?
I know. But that is a good word to sum it up, because he does a little bit of anything and everything, that guy.
Yeah. I know you're Canadian, but the U.S. government's keeping us in check now, so we can't get away with what we used to. So,
but the video was really cool. I love how he like highlighted, you know, some like, it looked like local restaurants and monuments and stuff of downtown St. Paul, Minnesota. And I don't know if anybody's had the chance to go there, but man, it's like one of the coolest, nicest towns that or cities, I guess, that I've ever been to. Like downtown, all the old buildings and stone and walkways and stuff. Like, it's beautiful. I mean, obviously, I'm the neighboring body of Minnesota. I'm Winnipeg here. But I go down pretty often to race, and for the Supercross, I got to go downtown and really see everything in the culture, restaurants, and, man, the buildings are just so cool. I love Minnesota.
Yeah, well, obviously, I do too. My wife's from there, and, you know, I spend a good couple of months every year up in Minnesota, and now with heydays and everything else. But no, they call it the Twin Cities, and there's Minneapolis, St. Paul. Minneapolis is kind of the newer, modern city. And then you got St. Paul that's like the old school, you know what I mean, like with the older buildings. And, I like St. Paul myself, like you said. There's a little bit of personality to it, and I'm so glad he did what he did and picked St. Paul. I mean, it just, to me, like you said, I mean, it was like parkour on a snowmobile. I mean, the stuff he was doing, and it's crazy, jumping over buildings.
Off of buildings.
Yeah, I mean, there was some acid drops. I call them acid drops from my BMX days, when we used to do gaps and things like that. And, there was some acid drops, like, literally just dropping to flat. I mean, that's stuff, the stuff he was doing, you just see some backcountry riding on snowmobiles and the powder and stuff like that. Stuff Levi was doing, people literally haven't done that stuff before. I mean, it was, I think he's opened up the snowmobile community's eyes. I mean, I've watched a ton of Slednick's videos and stuff like that, but I think what he did in this 4.5-minute video, literally, I think it's going to change the course of snowmobile freeride videos, in the future. I think he proved, hey, look, we can take these sleds and we can do stuff that, guys on BMX bikes are doing.
Okay, there, though. I don't know if every city would allow a snowmobile to go freeride, off buildings and stuff. Like, I really do wonder if he got in any trouble or had to, talk to anybody before he did some of those things. Because, I mean, he's like backflipping onto a building. I don't know if that's kind of legit everywhere. I think I would get in trouble and maybe arrested if I did that here in Winnipeg. So I don't know. Like, I'd like to know kind of how he lined it all up and set it up. I mean, he is Levi LaValle. I'm sure he could get away with murder if he wanted to, but no, I don't think there's going to be too many people doing that. Like, I don't think it's going to be allowed. So don't try this at home.
No, but what I'm saying, though, is you've got Ken Block, who's taken over Los Angeles, San Francisco, Dubai. I mean, if you go through the proper channels, you can get access to cities. I agree. Levi got access to a city.
Did you see that one video of that turbocharged, what is it, that Polaris slingshot?
Yeah, Tanner Fausto video. I was just talking about that.
That was so cool. That was so awesome. So, yeah, Kate, I guess you are right. Like, there's more of these videos kind of coming out and, coming through the woodworks and stuff. But I don't want to see every Joe Blow and Schmo going and getting arrested. Like our good friend who decided to take his razor through the town of where you live there. Our friend Blake.
No. His Volkswagen. He took his Volkswagen through San Diego and put out this video, and gosh, he was lucky he delayed it. Like, I think the video came out like 2 months after he did it, and the car was already in Dubai. He'd sold it or something like that. And I mean, that's one of those, like, God, I just shook my head. I mean, I don't agree with it. Yeah. It was a cool video, but I know the fight the off-road community has had to get access to lands and stuff like that. And
I know exactly.
That did not help things at all. That's not. And he did some cool stuff. I just wish he would have got the right permits. I don't know. Yeah, that's a shake my head type of thing. But yeah, you're totally right on that. So that being said, you shot me a text this weekend. You came home with a nice trophy, huh?
Yes, I am so excited because a great weekend. I was ice racing. It was like the final round of the CPTC, which is the Canadian Ice Oval, snowmobile ice oval championship. It's a huge series. I mean, the pro class is racing for $100,000. Like, I didn't realize how big of a series it is and how, there's at least 10, 12 semis that pull in. Like, it's really cool, that snowmobile ice oval stuff, and they go so fast. But they are really, nice and bring the ice bikes on as kind of like the filler, but it actually turns out to be huge production, and all of the fans love the ice bikes because we were clocked at going 137 kilometers an hour down the straightaway, and that's fifth gear tapped on my 500. So, we are going crazy fast, and it is, the guys are, when we're going in the corners, we could lick the ice. We are just leaning really, really low. It's a great show for the fans, and it was some great racing on Saturday. I didn't have as good of a day as I wanted. I went 5-2. In the first heat, we had 3 restarts because there was 2 crashes and people were jumping the line. It was just all over the place. And so on our third restart, I was way in the back off the line, and it's hard to pass. I mean, there's a lot of 500s now who I'm riding against, so kind of everyone's the same speed, and the ice was pretty tricky. So I knew on Sunday, like, I had to win both motos to get the overall because all 4 motos were counted towards points. So I just kind of one of those things I, like, gave myself a pep talk and was like, Amy, like, this is your sport. Like, I was grown up ice racing. I rode a little quad on the ice before I even, like, hit dirt. So ice racing is my thing.
No, hold on. We're like an hour and 23 minutes into this show, and it needs to go down in history. Amy Houde has said she used to ride a quad. I mean, that literally, we need to take that soundbite and like put it into something. Like, Amy Houde rode a quad. God. Health rose over.
Hey, I mean, kid, I rode a dirt bike with training wheels. Like, I couldn't even ride a bicycle when I was put on a dirt bike. So before I could even walk, I had a little electric quad. It was awesome. I used to run into the fence and piss my neighbor off all the time. But yeah, on the ice, I had a little like Fisher-Price quad. It was awesome. And I have a photo of it, and I have like hot pink pants on and rubber boots and like a snowmobile full-faced helmet on. I look like a Martian bobblehead. It's awesome. I'll send you a photo. I'll post it up on Instagram a little later.
That's a throwback Thursday, right?
I'll post it on Thursday for a throwback.
Yeah.
But, like, I grew up on the ice. So I went back home. I had a big motocross wedding social. So when people get married here in Winnipeg, we have these things called a social, which is like a big party fundraiser for the couple-to-be. And they raise a ton of money and party and everything. So the moto socials are huge. I mean, we have a big, close-knit moto community here, and it's a young family. My friend Jamie Burnley, fellow moto chick, is getting married to our friend Brett. But so my idea was my friend who is like my main competition, Nelson Sedgwick, my goal was to get Nelson as drunk as possible at this social so that he would suffer from a serious case of the hangover on Sunday. And mission accomplished. Nelson, like, he almost puked in the morning. It was so funny. Like, I just kept feeding him drinks the whole night at the social, and I drank water. I had some self-control.
Smart girl.
Yeah. What's that?
I said, smart girl. I'm proud of you. That's finding an edge anywhere you can. That's
And I never had self-control, okay? So I had to do something. And I kind of went back home and I had a pep talk with myself, and I was like, just lay it all on the line. The thing about ice racing is it's I mean, if anybody's ever done flat track or road racing, it's one of those things like or a hole shot. Okay, I always think of it as a hole shot, and I am the hole shot master. The last person to let off into the corner will be able to get that good line and be able to come out, ahead into the corners. And with the power of the 500, you need to have that entering corner speed, and it's just all about choosing good lines and being smart and, like, not letting off and having some serious balls to go into these corners, fifth gear wide open and laying it down. And so, I told myself, I'm like, come on, like, you got to win your both last motos. Like, just do it, okay? Just freaking do it. And, I got it done, and it was really awesome because my dad won pro and I won semi-pro. So it was really cool. Like, father-daughter race team kind of went out and stole the show, and it honestly made the win even like that much better. That the fact that it was me and my dad who both won, because there's a little sense of pride when my dad's on the sidelines watching his daughter and the only girl racing in semi-pro against all of his older guy friends who he grew up racing against. His daughter comes out and and puts it to them, and I just feel like seeing him have this huge smile when I come off the track is honestly better than the win. I'm just like so pumped that I can do it for my dad and kind of show him, he's been the guy who's trained me all my life, so it's a little bit of extra satisfaction for him.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking some Supercross with Amy Houde. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris racers RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at MTX.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners, and for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
All right, we are back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver hanging out with my partner in crime, Emme Houde, and it is Mint 400 week. I know you had the opportunity last year to go to the Mint 400, and you tried your I guess went for the crown of Miss Mint. Didn't work out your way, but we had a ton of fun.
Yeah, no, I'm excited, and it was pretty cool because I actually know a couple of the girls who are in for this year. Kate, who is my fellow Terracross, racer, and my friend Steph Pete. She's like another former moto chick, and it's cool. We've been talking. We're going to hang out this weekend and have a good time, but it's cool to know a couple people because I can have, secretly root for my friends and stuff. But I think they have a great lineup of girls. I love that they have, a couple other female racers representing, and I really hope this year that they choose, someone involved in the sport. The other Amy was great. I mean, she's a super babe, beautiful, love her, and she's honestly such a great person in the real, too. So, but I'd be cool for them to choose another fellow racer, whether it's dirt bikes or four wheels, whatever. I'm rooting for the racer chicks. So
yeah, well, and I know they're in Vegas. Shoot, our good friend Jackie. She's based there in Vegas too. I know you're looking forward to seeing her. I haven't seen her since Vegas Reno last year, so it'd be cool to catch up with her too.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Jackie. Of course, she's always my airport pickup when I land into Vegas. I'm like, Jackie, I'm coming to Vegas, and she's always like, oh my gosh, what time do you get in? I'll come pick you up. But she works at one of the clubs there in Vegas, so I'm hoping that, me and maybe a couple of the Miss Mint finalists will head down and, hang out with Jackie at her work and have a good Wednesday evening when I get in. So it'll be fun, and obviously Jackie's always down to hang out and come and check out the desert race, so I'll be dragging her out with me for sure.
Yeah, she wears so many hats. I mean, gun instructor, she races dirt bikes, works at the club. I don't know. She's literally all over the grid. But, definitely looking forward to that. People just tuning in. we will be live Friday from Contingency at the Polaris Razor booth at the Mint 400, noon Pacific till 2-ish o'clock. So definitely, come by, say hey. If you're online only, try and look for some coverage of the event. DownAndDirtyShow.com. We'll have you dialed in with a show live. But let's talk a little bit of Supercross because, man, oh, man, talk about a shakeup there, all the way around.
Yeah, well, I mean, Daytona is one of those very different races. It's a very iconic outdoor setting, and it's a very outdoor feely kind of track. So I believe, and everyone always says that Daytona is a good perspective on what we're going to see for outdoors. And I mean, you couldn't have hit the nail on the head hard enough because, everyone's been talking about how dominant Eli looks and preparing for outdoor series, and obviously Jeremy Martin, 2-time outdoor 250 champion. These two guys took the wins on an outdoor settings track, and I just think that there was kind of like a shoe-in, and no one was going to have anything for them. But it definitely shakes things up for the points with Eli Tomac, getting that win over Ryan Dungey. But got to give it up to Marvin Musquin and Jason Anderson. I mean, he hasn't had another podium since his win, but, Jason's always been right there. He's so consistent, and having that one win is keeping him in the top spot for, the overall points. He's still sitting in a comfortable third place, and he's not too far behind Ken Roxon. He's only 11 points behind. So if Jason can stay consistent like he's been, for the rest of the season, he is going to, either finish third or second in the points, and I think that's a huge, huge success, and it's going to be such a cushion, I think, going into outdoors. Like, Jason Anderson is an amazing outdoor rider, I think better than Supercross. So, no, it was just really, really cool, this event, to see the shake-up in the points for sure. But, 250s, we talked about it last week, how Justin Hill came from dead last to fourth. And, we talked about it, whether he was going to get a start, how he would finish, and just goes to show that, he has what it takes to get on the top of the box in the next weekends to come. A solid second place over Jeremy, I think is good, and Martin Davalos finishing third. So I was a little worried that Martin would kind of jump out of the gate, getting a win, and kind of fall back into his heat race wins and not even getting into the top five. But it just goes to show that he is, where he needs to be, and he's comfortable, and the third place is still, a win in the third is still in the chase for the championship. So it's good. It's shaking it up a lot. And, I do still think there's like 5 solid guys, Hill, Martin, Davalos, and Stewart, and then you can't really, close out Aaron Plessinger, all in the running for that championship. It's going to be a really, really tight race on this East Coast. I think it's way crazier than the West Coast. I love it. It's great. Yeah.
Well, here's a question for you. And I follow him on social media, and I see his tweets all the time. But where and when are we ever going to see Adam Cianciarulo again?
I don't know. I thought he was only going to be out the first round of the East Coast, but the kid is, built out of glass. You breathe on him the wrong way and he breaks. And, I think that's, being a really tall, skinny, lanky guy, and just similar, I think, to Dean Wilson, the sport is tough on those lanky dudes, I think. Their bones aren't as strong, or they're really brittle, but it's too bad because Adam is immensely successful and just the craziest rider. I love watching him. He has a completely different riding style, I find, than anybody else out there. And then it's Adam Cianciarulo. Everybody loves him. He's like the Justin Bieber of motocross, honestly.
But he's cool.
I really hope it's true. But a good Justin Bieber. It's like when everyone likes Justin Bieber, not when they don't like him.
Exactly. So,
but I'm not too sure. I'll have to shoot him a text message and see when he's going to be back. But I always feel bad, being like, hey, how's your injury?
You know what? Even if he's down for injury, even though he's down for injury, that means he's just sitting there. Let's get him on the show. I think he would be a fun interview just to get his feel on everything.
He'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
He's a full character, that's for sure.
Yeah. No, I love the guy. I love the guy, and it just breaks my heart because I think he's one of the most talented young kids on a dirt bike, the sport scene, and I could see him being like the next Ryan Dungey. It's just poor kid, he just can't stay healthy, you know?
He needs to eat some cheeseburgers, man. He needs to bulk up, take some protein. You know, I got to get him on that first form program or something because the kid, like, he's made of glass.
Yeah.
Sucks. And the exact same thing as Dean Wilson. Like, they come off an injury and then have a really, really successful training program, and you can see them in the off season just, you know, busting their butts, and you hope for the best when they come back, and it's like 2 rounds in, they just get shafted and have a little get off and are broken again, and it's too bad. I feel like you know, Wilson and Cincerello have spent majority of their career on the sidelines with these big rides, you know, on these big teams, but they just can't perform, you know, to the best of their abilities because of their injuries, and it's just too bad. And I don't necessarily think that's the rider. When you see all these guys who make mistakes or fade or whatever, but these guys are just plagued with injuries, and it's I would like to think it's not their fault, and it's, you know, that if they can come back stronger, that they would be a force to reckon with. So I love those two guys. I think they're just like, they make the sport what it is. They have such cool style, and they're different, and they're also great ambassadors of the sport. Yeah. They're big personalities, you know. Like, I just wish they'd come back already.
Yeah. They're not jerks either, you know. They got big personality, but they're not the jerks, you know. The jerks, everyone's like, who cares if you ever come back, you know. But no, they're good guys, you know. And I agree with you. Dean Wilson, I mean, is another one. I mean, you know, I've always said, hey, look, you know, when Chad Reed was hurt, was it last year or the year before? His hand-picked fill-in was Dean Wilson. You know what I mean? I'm like, you know, when Chad Reed anoints you, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So.
And he's whatever. He says he's like from overseas, but he's a Canadian born and raised, okay? Like, he may have been born over in whatever, but, I mean, the kid grew up here in Calgary, and I remember riding with him when he was on an 85 at some of the Canadian, amateur nationals, so. The kid's a Canadian at heart, so I got a little soft love spot for him too. But,
all right.
And another guy that we're talking about injuries is poor Will Hahn. Like, I mean, the guy can't catch a break. He's had some terrible get-offs, big-time injuries, and now he's out again and with a broken shoulder or broken collarbone. And it's just too bad because he's another one of those really nice guys, and everyone loves him, and he's, you know, Kevin Windham's wingman, and he's like, it's so sad to see this guy like come off a broken back and get ready and prepared, and to have just another case of the bad luck. I always say, but I hear that now Josh Grant, with his 7th place finish overall at Daytona, is now next in line to fill in for Will Hahn, which is awesome. I mean, Josh Grant being a dad and being around for so long, kind of one of those more, established riders, kind of has a good year then a bad year, gets on the podium and, sinks back in there. So it's good to see this guy, family guy with a wife and a kid get a shot at, being on a team. So, good for Josh Grant. I hope he can stick it out for the rest of the season for sure. Yeah. But Josh Grant, again, he's another amazing outdoor rider, not necessarily the best supercross rider, to excel on this outdoor style track. It's cool. I love that. It's always good to see a shakeup, and that's what I find. The 2016 Monster Energy Supercross Series has had such a different track design and layout every round. It's not just been the same. We had crazy whoops and really challenging stand section like last week in Atlanta, and it's just every weekend is really different, and I think they're doing a really, really good job at the track building this year. So hats off to those guys for sure.
Yeah, the track builder's done insane. Hey, we're getting a fan question, and he sent something a week or so ago and then sent something again today. It's RDub024, Randy Walton, I think follows us both on Twitter and Instagram. Anyways, he was saying, and I didn't answer him immediately because I wanted to watch and see, but he says, man, he's like, am I the only one that's having a problem? But he's like, the stupid leaderboard for Supercross takes up like half the television screen. He's like, I can't see the race.
Yes, and also the weekend before, the leaderboard wasn't working. Like, the whole half of the finals, it would only pop up like 2 laps to go. Like, I couldn't see who is, outside of the top 5 or who was not on my TV screen. It pissed me off. So whoever is out there controlling the leaderboard, get your act together because it's screwing everybody up. Like, we can't see a live feed unless you have the app and are, following on online through the app. The TV thing is never working. It's so annoying.
Yeah, and when it does work, it's taking up half the screen. So you're failing, Fox Sports. You're failing. Fix it.
I know. It's really frustrating because also those heat races, all they would shoot was Jeremy Martin coming around, and he wasn't even in the lead last weekend, too. And I just remember, the whole heat race was on Jeremy, and the leaderboard wasn't working, so no one knew who was where and what was going on. All you could hear was the crowd. You'd know when, a pass would happen or a crash would happen because you would hear the crowd be like, oh, or ooh, kind of thing. It was super funny. We always wait to hear the crowd and then wait for the, replay. It's kind of like something we do at home as a joke. So, yeah.
All right, Amy. Well, we got to wrap things up here. And, you and I, we got about 30 seconds left. But I will see you in, in Vegas this week, Mint 400, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'll see you then, and I can't wait to, see all the cool cars and trucks and see a couple of our fans live. So happy International Women's Day to all of our female listeners out there. This one's for you.
All right. Thanks, Amy. All right, that was Amy Houde. We are going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to wrap things up here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm your host, Jim Beaver, and Man, wrapping things up today, an amazing show, some amazing guests, Matt Martelli, Emme Hall, Conner Martell, my sidekick partner in crime, Amy Houde. Want to quick give you some results from Snowcross that happened this weekend. We had Elias Ishuel taking a full sweep of the Pro Light class. Montana Jess still out front in points with 507 there. We had Ross Martin taking the victory in Pro Open, followed by Corn Todd and Tim Tremblay. That's right, Tucker Hibbert finishing in 5th off the podium. Man, I don't know when the last time that happened was, but it has been a while. Bouncing back in round 14, though, Tucker Hibbert taking the win, followed by Ross Martin, Tim Tremblay. So your points are right now, Tucker Hibbert almost a full 100-point lead over Tim Tremblay in second. Adam Reinheim sitting there in third in Snowcross. Couple rounds left. They're winding things up, but man, it's been a little bit of a shake-up this year. Obviously, Tucker still with a solid run, but it's definitely been a bit of a different season, that's for sure. But upcoming events, Supercross. We got the Mint 400. That's right, we'll be live this weekend. Don't forget to tune in to that Friday from Contingency at noon Pacific. We got Rally America 100 Acre Woods and Lucas Oil kickoff. All that coming up. Got to thank Polaris RZR, General Tire, Subaru, KC Highlights, Gibson Exhaust, MTX Audio, DirtFish, Terracross, and the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Great partners to the radio show. Couldn't do it without them. Give me a follow at JimBeaver15 on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.com/DownAndDirtyShow or DownAndDirtyShow.com for all your back episodes. At AmyHood71 is her handle on Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget to download our app, available on Apple, iTunes, Google Play, and the Amazon Kindle store. And that app refresh, I promise you, it is incoming. Definitely incoming, I promise. I know it's been a long time coming, but it is coming. So, definitely want to thank all of you. Don't forget to tune in this weekend from Contingency at the Polaris RZR Mint 400, as we will be live there with Polaris RZR. Once again, noon Pacific, DownAndDirtyShow.com. Amy Houde and I will be holding it down. And as always, tune in, be safe, and game on.